Welcome to my channel, the place where most of our stories are scary, and some are even creepy. And tonight we have a scary story that is one of the scariest stories ever. It's called Nightmares in the Suburbs. And now it's time for the story. This was one of those perfect homes in the suburbs with a white picket fence and perfectly mowed lawn. The home was 3 stories high with dormer windows and a cupola that seemed to touch the sky. It was painted a baby blue color and looked like a house from a storybook. The home had 6 rooms and 3 bathrooms. It was located on a street lined with trees that would change colors every season, and the neighborhood was very quiet. The house had been built in the 1920s, and it only had 2 owners since then. The current owner bought the house at a young age and raised his family there. He had put his heart and soul into the house and maintained it better than anyone else. He took pride in his home and everything about it. The man was starting to get older and wanted to sell his home so that someone else could enjoy it. He put the house up for sale, and soon enough a young married couple found the home and fell in love with it. They bought the home, moved right in, not knowing what would happen next. The first few weeks were great and they had no problems. But soon, weird things started to happen. They heard chains dragging metal moans, and the smell of mildew hung in the air. Every night around 3 a.m., they heard screams in the middle of the night, but never saw anything. They also noticed that their pets would act strangely and hide in closets and under beds. Sometimes the couple would wake up and feel something on top of them in the bed, but when they turned on the lights, nothing was there. Their daughter was playing in her room one day when she said, "Who's there?" Then she started crying and ran to her parents. She told them that there was a little girl in a Victorian nightgown standing in the corner of the room. She told them that the girl asked her if she wanted to play. Then she disappeared. One night the couple was awakened by the sound of footsteps above their heads. They thought it was strange because they had just had new carpet installed upstairs. So how could anyone be walking on the stairs? My curiosity got the best of me, and I went to check it out. As I started to walk up the stairs, the footsteps stopped. I called out, "Who's there?" And then I heard a loud crash. I ran to the 2nd floor and started checking all the rooms. Nothing appeared to be out of place. As the months passed, more strange things happened. They found old photographs lying around the house. One was of a girl who looked to be about 12 years old. She was wearing a Victorian nightgown. The picture had been taken on the stairs in the same area where the couple had heard the footsteps. They found another picture of the girl, but this time she was standing in front of a fireplace in the living room. The couple became curious about the girl and decided to find out who she was. They talked to the previous owner, but he knew nothing about the girl. He did, however, tell them that the house had been used as a funeral home in the early 1900s. Perhaps the girl was a victim of a crime, or maybe she died in the house. No one knows. As winter began, the strange events became more frequent. One night I was awoken by the sound of a woman screaming in pain. It sounded like she was being stabbed over and over again. I told myself that it was just a dream, but then I started to hear chains dragging metal moans. That's when I knew it wasn't a dream. I got out of bed to try to investigate, but then I heard footsteps in the hallway outside our bedroom. I backed away from the door and hid under the covers. The footsteps slowly came closer and closer. I could hear each step that was being taken, and the footsteps stopped outside our bedroom door. I heard the doorknob slowly turn. Then the door opened. I stayed under the covers until I heard the door close. Every night that followed, the couple would hear chains dragging moans. They would also hear footsteps in the middle of the night. Each night, the sound would come closer and closer. The couple became so frightened that they left the house and never returned. They sold it to the next unsuspecting couple. The new owners found the ghost girl again in a photo album. She was always in Victorian clothing and seemed to be everywhere. There was also a picture of her family. The couple found out that the house had once again been used as a funeral home. One of the owners talked to a local historian and found out that the girl's name was Mary. She had lived in the house with her family in the late 1800s. Her father was a wealthy businessman. One day he was murdered in his home. Mary's mother went insane and killed herself. Mary was put into an orphanage. She was never able to find a home and wandered the streets until she froze to death. The historian also told them that Mary had been seen wandering the streets at night, begging for food. The couple was horrified. How could they have been so blind? All of the clues were right in front of them. They quickly put their house up for sale and moved out. Now, Many years have passed since the couple sold the house. It has changed hands several times, and each new owner has had the same experiences. Some stay for a while, and others move out immediately. Most of the people that have lived there have said that they can't take it anymore. They say that the house is evil and that Mary's ghost will not leave them alone. The house remains empty today and has become a local legend. People drive by the home and point and stare. Some even stop and take pictures of it. No one wants to live there because they are afraid of what might happen. Maybe the house should be torn down, or maybe it should become a local landmark. Who knows? Whatever happens to it, I don't think that anyone will live there anytime soon. This is your host. And if you enjoyed this eerie, scary story, please remember to like, comment, and share this story. Also, if you want to hear more scary stories, click the link in the description below. Until next time, remember to stay safe.